Hey guys, Mike here. So today, I'm here to talk to you about Rocketman. In this review, I'll be going over a brief summary of the plot, my quick thoughts about the film, and whether or not you guys should go and see it. So I'm going to try and keep this review spoiler-free. However, if you don't know anything about the film and you want to go completely blind, then let's just come back to this video once you've seen the film. So with that, let's get started, shall we? So Rocketman stars Taron Egerton as the living legend himself, Elton John. You may remember him from the Kingsman franchise and most recently from the god-awful Robin Hood movie. In Rocketman, we see the story of how Reggie Dwight rose through the ranks of music to become the legend that we all know him as today, Elton John. So going into Rocketman, I wasn't really looking forward to this movie. I didn't watch any of the trailers, so I didn't know what to expect from it. But I just thought we were going to get another run-of-the-mill biopic movie. However, I found out that within the first couple of minutes of Rocketman that this was definitely not going to be the case. Though in all fairness, I thought that the first musical number at the start was more of a projection of his subconscious and how he saw his childhood. Then later you find out that this is also not the case, and that the movie is pretty much a musical at its heart. Though a better description would be calling it a rock opera that's loosely based around Elton John's life. But before I actually get into that, I want to talk about Taron Egerton's performance as Elton John. My god, this guy is just amazing in this movie. And in all honesty, he didn't necessarily need to be playing Elton John to give an amazing performance as he did. His acting was outstanding, and the fact that he did all the singing in the movie was just even more insane. And at no point was I really taken out of his performance. For the whole time, I really just saw Elton John on screen. But having said that, I do like Elton John's music, but I wouldn't exactly go so far as to say I'm a massive fan of Elton John. But that's more from my lack of knowledge of his musical catalogue. Because in all honesty, I did know a lot of the hits like Rocketman, Your Song, Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word. So I knew that these were Elton John songs, but there were a couple of ones which I actually hadn't heard before, and I didn't know whether they were written for the movie or whether they were pre-standing songs. For all I know, all the music in the movie is from Elton John's musical catalogue. And just the way that they incorporate each of these songs into the movie is just brilliant, and it actually kind of reminded me of Our House, where it really felt like the music was written for the movie and not the movie written around the music. Though in all fairness, Our House definitely has more of that feel than Rocketman does. All of the supporting cast are really good as well. Bryce Dallas Howard, Richard Madden, Jamie Bell, they all really helped just give more life to this movie as a whole. And honestly, I would go so far as to say that Taron Egerton's performance in this movie is the first performance this year that I've really seen that is definitely Oscar-worthy. The only reason I think that it probably won't get nominated for an Oscar is the fact that it's been released in late May as opposed to late September through early January. Because that time frame is usually when a lot of the big Oscar movies come out. That's not a hard rule, not every single one of the Oscar nominations comes out in that time, but at least 70%, maybe 80% definitely do come out in this time frame. And I think that this is the thing that's going to really hurt Rocketman from getting into a Oscar category race. But honestly, I do think this movie's good enough that it is worth remembering for the Oscars. Though honestly, if I did have a couple of minor issues, my first would be that I just kind of wanted to find a bit more out about Elton John. Though, having said that, I think that if we kind of just spend the whole time just exploring his character and not letting this movie be as surreal as it was, it would just fall into the category of just being another biopic. And also, having said that, I think that we've just found out enough in this movie to kind of give us a clear idea about who Elton John was. And as well, they definitely don't shy away from any aspect of his life. The fact that he spent most of his life depressed, the fact that he was a homosexual, the fact that he just took an insane amount of drugs. No part of his life was too scathing to put into this movie. And also, going back to my minor notes about the things I didn't like, there was this one bit with Bryce Dallas Howard's character where they're trying to make her look older with makeup, and it just didn't really work at all. All it made it look like is that she had more freckles and a bit of a puffed up face. So at no point did I think I was looking at older Bryce Dallas Howard. But honestly, that's a minor detail that I can just forget. Actually, another minor issue was, it was kind of hard to know what year they were in, because I don't really know all that much about Elton John's music. And if I did, I probably would have been able to say what year that track came out, or what year they were in because of this other track. but because I didn't know his music catalogue, I didn't really know what time of year or what point in history we were in. But I imagine that this is a minor fault, that if you're an Elton John fan, then you definitely know when everything is. So it's nothing I would personally take away from the movie, it just made it just slightly hard to follow at points. And my last issue comes with that there's this one point in the movie where this seems like a very significant point in Elton John's life, and they literally skim over it in about 2 minutes, probably not even that, and I found that just a little bit jarring. It kind of felt like they had a tick box and it was just something they need to cross off the list. But still, like I say, it didn't take away from my enjoyment. But now, as for whether or not you guys should go and see it, honestly, I had an absolute blast with this movie. Taron Egerton is just absolutely brilliant in this movie, and all the supporting cast definitely do their part as well. Because it's Elton John's music, it's all really catchy, it's all really well written, and the way they integrate it into the movie is just done brilliantly. Granted, there are a couple of issues with the movie, but not so much that I would say to not go see it. So ultimately, I'm saying, go see Rocketman because you'll have an absolute blast with this movie just like I did. And who knows, you may become a fan of Elton John in the process. Okay guys, that's my review of Rocketman. If you've seen it, what did you think about it? And what's your favourite music biopic? Whatever it is, drop it in the comments below. And until next time, I've been Michael. See ya!